those one or two plays?
Well, the one where it was like the I think it was whatever unnecessary roughness and the long bomb and the offsides, all that. It's that's like 3 and 1. So bad things happen from there, and then I think we had a fumble. So those one or two plays kind of let them back in, and they happened in poor field position. So all those things are just little things that we have to just keep plugging away on.
After this happens 2 times in a row, we've given up a big lead. How concerned are you that this is a trend?
Like anything else, you win 3, you don't get concerned. That's a trend. You have to lose it sometime. So just like it is, hey, they had some good things going from them tonight. They came back. Calgary did also, and I know the tide will turn around for us. It's one of those things to where, hey, we've let some opportunities slip, whether it be 4-0, 5-0, or whether it be 4-1. We just have to simply learn how to not get so high with the highs, and we definitely can't get low at the lows. Just stay on an even keel and play ball and win the games.
Is that part of the evolution of a team? That this had so much change? Are we starting to see a bit of that evolution starting to take effect? Did the first 3 games maybe camouflage it a bit?
I mean, I'm not Jesus. I can't tell you that. I mean, it's simply a 3-2 team right now. We're still a winning team, so the sky is not falling out. You're going to lose 2 no matter where they are, whether they're back-to-back or whether they're 6 games apart. You just got to make sure, as a football coach, you got to look at each and every area and make sure that, whether it's personnel, coaching, or whatever, that we address the issues to make sure that we can go forth in a winning manner.
What do you say? I don't think it's a bye week. They have like a week away. Do you tell them to think about this? Do you tell them to clear their heads, or what do you sort of say to the players?
Well, the thing about it, what I told those guys was, hey, make sure that you enjoy your break, but at the same time, you got to find a new focus, because when we come back, it's a new season, because we've had the bye week. So those guys, it's football. I'm not going to beat them up. They just got beat up out there. But we got to learn how to finish. Like I said, it's always 1 or 2 things that happens. For whatever reason they happen, we just got to continue to move on.
How do professionals lose focus?
What's this in your mind?
It's just another game. We simply just got to see why this is happening. You look at it, whether it's a wake-up call and whether it's 2 in a row or whatever, some things happen. It's not like we went and got careless and like the guys just said, hey, let's take off the brakes. No, we were still full throttle on that. It's called, like I said, the evolution of life, karma, or whatever. That's just the way it is sometimes. You can look at, I'd say, BC Lions won and whatever, and they won it. So I'm not going to go down and tank it because we've had 2 losses back-to-back. That's football.
When you lost last week, though, and you had 33-14 going into the 4th quarter there, didn't any coach come over the bench and say, guys, remember what happened last week?
No, we didn't. Yeah, we did. We said it the whole time. I mean, that's what I just told you. We said it the whole time, and things just happen. I mean, that's football. Like I said, we preached it. We said finish, and I can tell you some guys were finishing. Like I said, we just had to reevaluate every week that we put the best football team out there, and things are going to happen. We don't. This is not going to be a team that accepts losing, because losing is not what we want to accept. Winning is the ultimate thing, but at the end of the day, we have to just regroup and keep going.
Corey, you mentioned in the past couple of weeks that next man up. When somebody goes down, next man up. Are you getting to the point, though, where your secondary is starting to get, pretty depleted? No Turing, no Russ, no Jackson, and maybe got exposed a little bit?
I mean, that's football. If you look at that, there's one play on Paul, then there was a couple of plays to where he did make some good plays. So, they did a good job of finding those matchups, and that's football. But at the end of the day, we come back from the break, I know that we'll be a healthy team.
How do you coach focus? How do you get that focus into these guys?
You just have to keep telling them to refocus. And like I said, it's not one of those things to where guys were sitting around there slapping and acting up on the sideline. Like I said, they came back, they made adjustments. And, hey, we were trying to hide some things and do some things, and they came back and they found it. That's football. And like I said, that's a good football team, and that's a good football coach over there in George Cortez.
Just the 6-yard line twice, first down and didn't run, and then the second last series you have 2nd and 2, you didn't run again. What were the decisions not to run in those?
I'd had to go back. I have too many other plays. You focusing on one negative play. I got about 130 plays in my mind, so I had to go back and look at that. But the decisions are, whether it was to take points or whatever, and I'm not sure if that was the same play. We're always looking just to take points as much as we can.
How did Paul Walder play?
Paul Walder, he did a good job of coming in as a backup role, and Paul did some things. He had the one long catch on him, but other than that, they tried to match Chris Williams up on him all night, and it wasn't Chris Williams who got the long one on him. I think it was Jaguar, and that was on just a throw it up in the air and get it play. So Paul is a guy that, he did his role tonight. You never want any DB to get caught on. He did have one, but 3 or 4 more that he made good tackles. So Paul did a good job.
Last week, Richie said he changed up some of the calls in the fourth quarter, went away from what was going right. Did that happen again this time around?
They played ball. They came back, and like I said, if you look at the turnover we had, it was in the minus. So that's not the ideal place to turn one over. You shouldn't anyway. But we had, I'm not even sure what the turnover battle was. I think they won the turnover battle, and at the end of the day, you get whoever wins the turnover battle 9 times out of 10 is going to win the game.
Corey, how worrisome is it that the defense has failed to come through in the fourth quarter? I realize the other team's got good field position, but how worrisome is it to you?
Oh, it's always worrisome, to the point to where, we're defense, and they get paid to stop people. That's what we do. We get paid to stop people. It doesn't matter who's out there. If you're lined up and you're on that roster that day, you get paid to stop whoever your opponent is. So, we had to go back and reevaluate some things and just make sure that, we get healthy in some areas and then we're ready to go.
Right before the Milo attempted field goal at the end at 2nd and 2, you've got Corey Sheets. Was some thought given, just slam him into the line a couple of times, and your odds are pretty good of moving the chains as opposed to Darian passing there.
Well, at the end of the day, if we pass and it goes for a touchdown, then we're singing praises, right? So every decision it has to be calculated for one reason or another. But at the end of the day, we weren't effective on that play. There's about 9 to 10 more plays that we did make. But there's simply other things that we have to make sure that it doesn't come down to one play in anything that we do.
How decision to use a timeout and then switch from going to 3rd down to field goal? What was your decision?
Well, that was one of those things to where we wanted to go ahead and take points. It was one of those where we could have tried to get it and try to score and put the game out of reach, but then it was more just making sure that, hey, let's make sure that we get some points out of this rather than nothing.
How would you like to see the players handle their week?
Well, they're players. They're going to go home. Some are going to fly home. Some will stay around. And biggest thing is they need to get healthy and they need to refocus. Like I said, it's a long season. When we get back, there'll be 13 regular season games left straight. So just make sure the guys are ready to play. And like I said, if nothing else, I know it leaves a bitter taste in my mouth and their mouth. So that's a group that likes to fight back there. They're a fighting bunch. So I know we'll be ready to go after the break.
Corey, at the end of the day, even though you've dropped 2 straight, you go on a bye, you're still in first place as you go on that bye, no matter what happens tonight. Is that one positive you take out going into this break or not?
I told the guys we had 2 opportunities. Our best opportunity was to go 4-1. Our worst opportunity was to go 3-2 and still be in first place. And that's just football, But like I said, those guys fought, and we put ourselves in a position early enough to be first place at the bye. So, when we come back, we have to now look at it again and say, how can we refocus and how can we create some separation or make sure that we remain in that spot? So, this could be a whole nother conversation that we lost the first 3 and won the next 2, and then we'll be sitting to be in a 2-3 team. So we are a first place team. And, we're going to continue to work like it, and we'll take our bumps and bruises, and it may be some ebbs and flow in this year, but we still have the mindset that we're going to win it.
How's Tristan Jackson?
Tristan had a knee. I'm not sure exactly what it was, but, Tristan is a guy that we count on, and we hope that he gets well and we see him after the bye.
Any other conversations with Ivan you need to have going into the bye?
Just overall, make sure we got a healthy team, refocusing and looking at we put the strongest team on the field that day when we play Edmonton.
Milo, as a coach, do you say something to your kicker, or do you let him work with Coach Dickinson to get confidence back?
Well, the thing about that is, confidence. He just has to make sure that he's doing the right things, and he's missed a couple, and that's something that, we'll sit down and talk to Craig and talk about after the break, and just say, hey, how can we get him better? Because we're confident that Milo is an excellent kicker and an excellent punter, but we just have to have the points when they're needed.
Taj Smith, how pleased were you to see him average get 74 yards on his first touchdown or first catch?
Well, that's a positive. If you look at he and Jeffers Harris, they both did some positive things. So, like I said, going into the break, we know now what we have depth-wise, roster-wise, including Paul Waldo. We know what we have all the way through. So we've played to, like you said, it looks as though we're depleted. Not so much. We've just played all the way to the bottom of the roster to where now we just got to reload, retool, and get ready to go again.
We're talking about Darian that had 3 games with no turnovers in the last 2 games, 4th quarter turnovers. Anything happened to him in the last couple of years?
That's just football. I don't think that he goes out there in the fourth quarter and says, I'm going to fumble the ball. I think, if you look at the one, he was stepping up, trying to make a play, and the ball simply came out. Turnovers are going to always hurt you, whether it's first quarter or fourth quarter. I think they're just ironic. There was so much media hype on how there was no turnovers, and now it's media hype on their fourth quarter turnovers. So when we get back from the break, it should be media hype on how we come back and we retool and we get stronger again.
Does the pass rush have to be better? One sack today.
Yeah, well, one sack, you always want more. And, there was some times when I think guys may have, whether it was injured or what happened, we got to make sure that we have the best D-line out there anytime. We got to make sure we get pressure on the quarterback. The one thing about it is anytime you start fast, of course, people are going to scheme you and do different things. But at the end of the day, that's their job to get to the quarterback, and we're going to have to get to the quarterback.